They say power is a force to be wielded, but the truly untouchable understand power is a state of mind. To be feared isn't merely to inspire terror, it's to become untouchable. Untouchable by enemies, doubters, and even your own inner fears. Throughout history, some minds have reached this apex. Minds so sharp, so ruthless, they carved paths through chaos and opposition, rising above threats like ghosts walking through walls. What if you could learn from those minds? What if you could embody their invincibility, their cold clarity, their impenetrable will? What if being untouchable wasn't reserved for tyrants and legends, but available to anyone who dares to master the art of psychological invulnerability? This is the story of Becoming Untouchable, a journey into the darkest corridors of history's most feared minds, and the brutal lessons they left behind. First, consider the nature of fear itself. Fear is a weapon, but also a prison. To be untouchable means breaking free from the prison of fear. Not just the fear others want you to feel, but the fear you harbor inside. The great minds who became untouchable learned to stare into the abyss without blinking, to harness their fear and transmute it into power. Take Genghis Khan, for example. His empire stretched from the steppes of Mongolia to the gates of Europe, yet his real weapon wasn't just his army. It was his ability to unsettle and dominate minds before battles began. His reputation alone spread terror, making enemies crumble before swords were even drawn. He understood that invincibility begins in the mind. His fearlessness made him untouchable. Or think of Niccolò Machiavelli, the dark philosopher of power. His writings didn't just analyze politics, they revealed the raw, brutal psychology of dominance. Machiavelli knew that to be untouchable, one must be willing to wear the mask of cruelty and deception when needed, to embrace pragmatism over morality. He taught that power is not given, it is taken, and often preserved by the calculated use of fear. Then there's Sun Tzu, whose treatise The Art of War remains a timeless guide. He spoke of the invisible battle, wars waged in the mind, through misdirection, discipline, and unpredictability. To be untouchable, Sun Tzu taught, is to be a ghost in the chaos. Always steps ahead, always unseen until the decisive moment. What unites these minds is their mastery of detachment. Emotional detachment, yes, but also detachment from outcome and attachment to process. The untouchable don't cling to results or validation. They move like shadows, unbound by expectations, impervious to criticism or manipulation. This detachment is a form of psychological armor, one that you can build. Start by observing without judgment. When provoked, don't react. When threatened, don't flinch. Instead, practice presence. Presence is your silent power, your calm eye in every storm. It disarms attackers, confuses adversaries, and creates an aura of invincibility. Another key lesson is control of perception. History's feared minds mastered their image like weapons. They understood that being untouchable often depends on what others believe about you. The mystique, the rumors, the cultivated fear, all tools in their arsenal. They used silence as a sword, unpredictability as a shield. You don't need to be loud or boastful. Sometimes the quietest figure commands the most respect because they are an enigma, unreachable, unknowable, untouchable. But beware the trap of arrogance. Untouchability is not about becoming a tyrant or a dictator of others' wills. It's about owning your own mind so fully that no external force can shake you. The greatest minds feared in history were also masters of self-mastery. To cultivate this self-mastery, you must embrace discipline. Discipline over thoughts, emotions, and actions. Daily rituals, mental conditioning, and constant reflection. The untouchable understand that vulnerability is a choice, and they choose their vulnerabilities carefully. You may wonder, is this cold, ruthless mindset all there is? Not at all. Behind the iron facade lies a deep understanding of human nature. The untouchables see beyond surface emotions, beyond fleeting opinions. They know when to strike and when to withdraw. They conserve energy and use it with precision. The journey to becoming untouchable is not easy. It demands sacrifice. It demands solitude at times, because not everyone will understand or respect your transformation. It demands ruthless honesty with yourself, exposing weaknesses and eliminating them. But the payoff? Freedom. Freedom from manipulation, fear, doubt. Freedom to move through life as a force, not a victim. If this vision of untouchable power speaks to you, consider this your call to action. Begin your transformation now. Practice detachment. Master your perception. Build your discipline. Start small, but start. And if you found this exploration valuable, hit like, not just to support the channel, but to affirm your commitment to becoming untouchable. Subscribe for more deep dives into the dark psychology of power and survival. Share this with someone who needs to hear that fear can be conquered and power reclaimed. Leave a comment below. What's your biggest obstacle to becoming untouchable? What lessons from history inspire you most? Your insight could be the key for someone else on this path. Remember, the most feared minds were not born untouchable, they became it, and so can you. The question is, will you take the first step?